Hello everyone and welcome to the round 9 countdown. Let's go. Unfortunately, Whisperer couldn't do it today. Had a lovely surprise visit from one of his family members, which is great, but unfortunately that means he's got more of a life tonight and he's not going to be doing any deadline streaming today. And look, I thought this week felt like a lot of questions, so why not do a deadline stream? It's been a while since I think I've done one, since round 1. I'll quickly get to everyone's questions in a bit. Just a quick thing on my team. So you can see just below me, I've got my proposed trades. Haven't actually done them yet. We can do that live on stream. But my current thoughts are taking out Cobbo, who's playing tonight for Isaiah Tass. I think he is a great cheapie, 175k, bottom dollar, good team, good draw, good job security with Tane Milne playing on the wing, and Jackson Paulo's only on the bench. And comments from Demetrio were saying that he's probably earned that spot on his own merit. So Tass is probably going to come in for me for Cobbo. I'll probably also get Tui Pelotu for Penasini. Penasini's been solid. Absolutely nothing wrong with Penasini, but he does have a tough game this week. He has almost peaked in price. He's got a break even to 33, so he probably will make just a little bit more. But I really like Manly's draw coming up, and I want to get Tui Pelotu as well. Kind of want to start building a bank just to start getting some upgrades in as well. So I know I've talked about saving trades last week. It's not happening. Won't be saving trades. I will be getting Tui Pelotu and Tass this week. I couldn't decide which one I want, so I thought I'll get both. So those are my two trades that I'm almost like 100% going to be doing. The third choice is, do I use that money? There's going to be like 480k freed up from that. Do I boost then to get to a gun? So for example, I could trade out Leo Thompson in my prop and get in Tamalolo. That means my front row forward would be Tamalolo and Josh King. I could bench Max King and not have to play him. But some of you might also have decisions about to play Tass or Tui Pelotu or Kula. If I don't get Lolo, I don't have to make that decision. So I'm thinking of just holding off. And what that 480k can let me do next week is maybe get Turbo next week if he looks good. Maybe if Taft as well and he goes up a bit in price, maybe do other downgrades next week and maybe I can get Turbo. Instead of committing to a gun this week, maybe like a Lolo, I instead just keep that money in the bank and then we can just make the decision next week. I'm probably leaving some points on the table there, but I just don't know which gun. I feel like if I go for a gun that I don't get the right and I don't get that decision right, it means I've kind of made my bed and it makes it a bit harder to go for other upgrades later. Whereas if I keep that money in the bank, I can have another week of information and leave it at that. So those are probably going to be my trades. So what I'll actually do, I'll quickly just do them. I think I'm going to do them anyway. So Cobbo to Tass, Penasini for Tui Pelotu. I think that's how you pronounce it. 470k in the bank. Complete trades. There you go. Cobbo and Penasini out. All right, we're going to do that. 24 trades left, which is not great. And I think I don't think I'm going to play Taff. I'd rather play Tass. Like, I know my front row forward is lacking Brenton. I can upgrade Leo Thompson, but he is starting this week, and he does also have a break even of 30. He might make a little bit more coin, but barely anything. And so what I'm thinking about doing, I know Taff has the goal kicking. I have no faith in Taff though. He was on about 35, 40 points before he got that last minute try last week. I don't really have confidence in Taff. He had a base of 15. Tass had a base last week of 35. So I think I'm going to play Tass instead of Taff. So Tass plays tonight. So I'm going to play Tass over over Taff. Getting all the bloody names wrong. Roosters play on the Saturday. Panthers play Friday. And Manly play on the Saturday before the Roosters. So I'll probably just set up my team so Tui Pelotu's in my starting team. And I'll take that reserve off Taff and put it on Suwali instead. I know Taff is goal kicking. But that's what my gut's telling me. Tui Pelotu on the wing, I think I want to play him with a good matchup against the Tigers. And Tass looks a good talent. Playing outside of Cody. I know the Broncos, and he's going to be coming up against Stags, who's obviously a good defender. But, they're lacking Capewell and Haas. And I just hate watching Taff. He looks so uninvolved. He doesn't get involved in the attacking plays, has low base. It just frustrates me, so I don't want to play him. I know that might bite me in the backside, but look, I'm going to do that. So I think this will be my team, at least for now. I don't actually have to make the decision on Tamalolo just yet. The problem is that if I do want to bring in Tamalolo this week, then that would change my reserves up and I might bench someone like Max King. So for example, next week with 480k in the bank, I could do, say for example, Turbo is 900k. Let's say Taft's 330k. 480k means I just need to free up another 110k. Maybe that means I do a Josh King downgrade. Maybe I do a downgrade of, I don't know, maybe Tuolagi downgrade to someone. I don't know. There's ways I can do it. That's basically what I'm saying. It just leaves me open next week. That's why I'm thinking of just doing these two moves. And that's that. All right, that's enough of my team rambling. Let's get to your question that's more important. Okay, so what I'm going to do, apologies guys who've asked your questions already. I'm just going to go from the what I can currently go from, and I'll just keep going as they come in. So apologies if you've already asked a question, just re-ask it. And that'll be the best way to get to it. All right, Brenton asked, Taff and Ilias, both frustrating and hard to own both. Exactly, yeah. So I upgraded Ilias last week to Cody, which was fine. Taff at least goal kicks, but yeah, I think the sooner I can even if Turbo stinks it up, next week if I want to take out Taff, I can just keep him. I can just use that money elsewhere. I can just get Lola next week if I want to. And yeah, Mr. Tickles, you've got it there. If you're thinking about getting Turbo, then getting Lolo in now is just burning a trade. Yeah, that's the thing. I think I can sacrifice. I might leave some points on the table this week, but it's kind of a week where I'm just building some cash up and seeing what I can do with it next week. I could boost, but when I'm not confident, even Hamoli or Garrick, I'm not 100% sure. I'm still getting Tuip a lot too, so yeah, and I'm holding Haas. I think I'm fine with Max King and Josh King. Look, they're front row forwards. They're good. They might give me 50 points each, whatever. Lolo might give me 65? It's 15 points extra. I'll sacrifice it if it means I can go from Taft's 30 to Turbo's 130 if that's what I can do next week potentially. Benny's saying, why can't I be more bold? Surely that's being bold. 480k in the kitty. Sai, I'm thinking of getting in Grant, but you have Cook already, so running 2-gun hookers, is that bad? The problem with having both Grant and Cook is over Origin. Equally, they can have a chance of getting rested because obviously they're both going to play Origin. Therefore, you're going to be lacking a bit of depth in that regard. I do agree that getting in Grant is lovely, but maybe because you've already got a gun hooker, I think maybe if you're wanting to spend up, maybe try to do it elsewhere in your team and have a cheaper hooker who can offer some depth over Origin period. Taylor says Haas, Nikora, and Schneider to Tass, Lolo, and Garrick. Look, if you're set on selling Haas, I don't mind that. Lolo and Garrick are very good. Tass is great. Nikora can be sold. Schneider can be sold. Yep, don't mind that. Penasini and Cobbo to Drinkwater and Tass. Yep, so Tass in I like for Cobbo. If you're getting duels for Drinkwater and if you've decided Drinkwater is the man you want at 5'8" instead of say a Cody, I'm all for it. Just know the risks that obviously he does have the Storm and the Panthers coming up relatively soon, but he does cover round 13 and he is in very good form as well. So Swaggy, don't mind that. The Hound says my only trade this week was Ilias. Oh, sorry, I scrolled and I lost my place. He says my only trade this week was Ilias to Walker. No regrets. Did it last week. Fine with that. Would you boost this week and go Max King to IPAP? No, definitely not. I think IPAP, I'm actually thinking I might not get until round 14. Just at that sky high price, has a slightly tougher draw. I think Max King is fine. He'll cover you to round 13, so I would hold off on doing that one. Meat Wagons, what team value is enough for me to stop searching for money? Look, I think as soon as you get to around 12.8, 12.9, close to 13, I think you can probably stop prioritizing it. I'm on around 12.5, so I feel like I can still go in on a couple of cheapies, and it helps me get some upgrades down the line. That's what I'm hoping for, at least for this week. When should we start bringing some nuffs for those bigger upgrades elsewhere? Nothing, I would say, maybe as you get closer to... sorry, voice crack. Maybe as you get closer to the second bye week, because that's when you're going to start having a bit more certainty that your Origin players will be past Origin. Therefore, they're not going to be rested as much. So I think that's when you can start relying a bit more on nuffs, when you don't need as much depth, when you know that there's more certainty of your guys actually playing. Gazaraki, should I do Moses to Turbo? Yes, 100%. Or should you do Ilias to Drinkwater? Other 5'8 is Munster. Okay, so you've already got Munster. You could double up with Drinkwater. I like the Moses to Turbo move, mate. I would do that, Gazaraki. I think if you can get in Turbo this week, and for Moses, who in my eyes is a sell, I think that's a more powerful move than, say, getting Ilias to Drinkwater, given that you already do have Munster. Haas and Brodie Jones to Tass and Adam Elliott. 480k in the bank for Turbo next week. Similar to me, 480k in the bank. I'm not a massive fan of Adam Elliott, though. I know a few people have got interested in him. I just can't trust Ricky and his forward roulette. I can't do it. Look, if he does well, good on you for jumping on him, but I personally can't recommend Adam Elliott. Let's see, Moz. Brodie Jones, Ilias to Tass and Cody Walker. Okay, Brodie and Ilias to Tass and Cody Walker. really good. Arrow to Lolo next week. Don't want to waste another boost. Yeah, that's fine. 140k in the bank. I like that. Moz, good plan. Tyler, Tuolangi Taff or Kobe Hetherington, final reserve spot. I don't mind actually playing Tuolangi this week against Manly, but he lacks the ability to play a full 80, which is kind of frustrating. I feel like he might give you 45 to 50. I think Taff might just about get it. I'd play Taff. I wouldn't play Kobe Hetherington. David, Aman, hope you're well. I need help. Garrick or Coates? Yeah, look, I was very keen on Coates, but after listening to a few podcasts and thinking about it a bit more, I would actually prefer to go with Garrick. Main reason is that Coates is probably going to do well this week, but then he does run into the Panthers and then the Cowboys, and I think Parramatta. Parramatta not necessarily on recent form, but Cowboys and Penrith definitely have been better defensively, and then he goes into Origin, so I feel like it might hurt, but it's different with you. You're at a good ranking, so you could just go Coates to save, to kind of, cover against that, but Garrick is the pod. So yeah, I think straight head to head, I'd say maybe Coates is a better option, but for the next few weeks, I feel like Garrick, just because of the round 13 coverage, might actually be the better play. Zach Attack says Olukwatu or Tamalolo. I actually think Tamalolo. He's got the dual flexibility. Some stats that Wilfred actually he didn't steal them, but he said on the podcast, on the late mail edition, was that Olukwatu's numbers with Turbo inside generally have been a bit lower than what he has done without him, because Cherry Evans gets more of the ball without Turbo. Therefore, playing off him, Olukwatu can benefit playing off Cherry Evans. And I think Tamalolo, because of you probably got a bit more stability there. He's slightly cheaper as well, and dual. I'd say just Tamalolo, I think. Matt Roberts, I'm playing Leo Thompson and Max King in your front row forward. Yeah, good luck. I don't really like playing Leo Thompson. Is Tass a must get? No one's really a must get, but he's an extremely good get. 175k, bottom dollar, good draw, good team, good base stats, got decent job security. He's going to make massive cash at minus 69 break even. So I think there's a lot of good reasons to get Tass. James, I've done Fafita to Elliott to free up funds to go Guthers into Paps. Is this a bad decision? Look, I don't love Adam Elliott, but if he's your ticket to Paps, good call. Paps is a must. Hey, we were just talking about must-haves. I think Paps is a must-have. Penasini and Cobo to drink on a Tass already answered that. Yeah, guys, if I've answered a question, or if you feel like I've answered a question that I haven't specifically got to yours yet, maybe just consider deleting it, so I just have to avoid repeating it, and then we can get to as many range of questions as we can. Okay, Benny G, you approve, mate. If you approve my supposedly bold moves, I'll take that. And you're doing the same with Turbo. He can wait a week and allow him to have some more match fitness. Yeah, I think it might seem weird having 480k in the bank, but I just kind of like having that to spend anywhere. I can kind of plan for any contingency. So it might not be I'm kind of expecting a red arrow this week, knowing that I'm not really getting an extra gun, but I'm hoping that the guys I have can have a good week. Okay, Ewan says you're set on bringing in Elliott and Tass. Just wondering which two you should trade out of Schiller, Momosia, Penasini, Hiku, Fnur, Blake. Okay, so you're trading out two of those. I'm guessing obviously with any of those two you can afford it. If that's the case, if you get rid of Schiller and Momosia, you're getting rid of some deadwood. At least Penasini, Hiku and AFB cover round 13. Penasini is still an okay hold in the sense that he's been fairly solid. We're just kind of trading him out just to cash in. Momosia and Schiller are doing nothing for you. So I think you're improving your squad depth if you're going that way. So I'd probably go that way, Ewan. Would you recommend getting Garrick this week or just waiting until round 13 with rough 2 games going into round 13? That's true. He does have those 2 rougher games coming into round 13. So if we have a quick look at Manly's draw. So obviously they've got the Tigers and the Broncos, and Parramatta doesn't really concern me from an attacking point of view. So I wouldn't even worry about that one too much, to be honest. It's mainly the Melbourne game, and then it's the Warriors. So I think overall it's only one bad game in the Melbourne Storm. And then I think I'd be okay getting Garrick. So if you're wanting to get Garrick, I think going early on him gets you a leg up instead of having to wait until round 13. Because I do think outside of the Melbourne game, that draw is pretty decent, I think, from an attacking perspective. Jones to Tuipulotu and save the other trade. Very conservative, very safe. That's good. Josh King to Tarmel. Oof, I've seen Tarmel do well, but I can't do it. Leilua and Schneider for Hughes and Schuster. Not bad. I like the Hughes pick. A nice pod there. And yeah, Leilua is 1 to 2 weeks out, so you may as well you can probably trade him. Doesn't even cover round 13. Getting a guy who covers round 13, I don't mind that. Thoughts on May to Tass? Okay, any questions about selling Taylor May? I don't want to hear it anymore. Taylor May is locked in now into the Panthers team. Charlie Stans is playing fullback for the New South Wales Cup. The reports that I'm hearing is that Taylor May will probably stay on the left-hand side and To'o on the right. And so Taylor May and Tango still going to be on their left-hand side combination. Taylor May, yes, his scores have dropped off in a little bit, but he's still the highest averaging centre wing. We can't forget what he did at the beginning of the season. Don't sell Taylor May this week. Any trades involving Taylor May and selling, I don't like anymore. When we thought he was going to get dropped, then fine. But when we know he's going to play, then I can't recommend trading Taylor May. But in terms of the rest of your questions, Randall to Grant and Bruce to go Moses to Hines. I'm guessing Taylor May to Tass was your way to fund that. If you have another centre wing like Penasini and he can still do those other two moves, I really like that, Brad. Should you sell Haas to get in Turbo this week or get Drinkwater in, keep Haas and wait for Turbo? Look, I'm in the hold Haas camp. There's not many players I would say is worth selling him for, like a season keeper, but going early on Turbo instead of say a Drinkwater with this, I would go the Haas to Turbo route. I haven't even thought about, I've thought about that myself. I could do it potentially. If I change, I don't want to mess around with my trades. I might do it actually. Let's do undo changes. Sorry guys, quick break in questions. We still have half an hour, so we'll do a quick change in questions. All right, I'm just going to reverse my trades. And let's see if I did trade out Payne Haas. Let's say I went cheap. Who's a cheap front row forward? This is the problem. Trying to go cheap in the front row forward, there's not many that good options. I don't have the duels to even make it work. Look, someone mentioned James Tarmel. I don't know. Spencer Lenu, let's say Clemmer. You know what? I'm not even gonna bother with it. I don't think it would work for my team to sell Haas to get Turbo because I can't get duels to go down to your TAS, etc. Alright, guys, sorry, apologies. I'm just gonna quickly set up my team again and do my trades again. So I guess anyone who's joining in late, this is what I'm doing. Cobo to TAS and Penasini to Tuipulotu, and I think I'm going to leave it at that. I don't think I'm going to boost this week. I might boost next week if I really want to get Turbo in. And I'm going to play Tuipulotu over Taff. Even if the Rabbitohs run up a score, I don't know. I have more confidence in Tuipulotu. I think playing on the wing should be good, hopefully with Turbo's return. And so I'm going to take the reserve onto Suwali there. Who are the Roosters playing? Titans. Yeah, I think I want to play Suwali. He's been pretty solid. Taff, I can't trust. Sorry, captain will be Pappenhausen. So captain will be Pappenhausen. Vice captain Nathan Cleary. Pretty solid. Okay, cool. All right, fix up my team. David, who are your top 4 centre wings to finish the season? Sorry guys, the questions are going all out of whack. I haven't been able to keep up. I can't really answer that right now, I think, but gun to my head. Oh, look. To'o, Garrick, Talakai, when you can get him at centre wing. And then maybe did I say Taylor May? Yeah, Taylor May, To'o, Garrick, and say a Talakai. Top of my head. Haven't given much thought on that though. Sell May or Penasini to get Tass. Penasini. Dylan Brown, a hold or sell. I'm holding Dylan Brown. He scored 100 against Melbourne already so far this year. He's got a very solid base. Scored 43 in base last week, playing at centre. And I feel like it's nice to have that kind of solidity in your 5'8 position. And I don't think I'm actually going to get Munster until after Origin. And if you actually look at Parramatta's draw, he'll be a good cover for round 17. And after this Panthers game, Roosters and Manly concede points. Then it's the Raiders. Fine, he has the bye, but Munster is not going to play the bye. Walker's not going to play the bye. Then it's the Bulldogs, Roosters again, Rabbitohs, and then Tigers, and then Warriors, and Broncos. It's a good run again up until about round 20. So I know for Penasini it's a different story because we've got good cheapies there. Whereas Dylan Brown, I'm happy to hold. Thoughts on Fafita to IPAP and Jai Arrow to Campbell Graham? I like the moves. I personally wouldn't actually go for IPAP now. I'd probably go down actually to a Tamalolo instead, but I still think I like those moves. Need one more reserve this week. Schneider, Cobbo, or Max King? I'd probably go Max King, Dale. Cobbo's got low base. It's a tough-ish opponent, and Schneider might lose the goal kicking as well. Anthrax, sorry if it's been covered. So conflicted between Taft to Drinkwater or Starling to Grant. Jeez. Grant. I know Starling covers round 13, but Grant is Grant. He's another level. Randall last reserve spot, maybe playing 80 or Taff. Yeah, actually, I would play Randall over Taff. That's a good point. He probably is going to play 80. And I think he's averaged 57 this year when he's played 80 minutes. So, yeah, Randall's probably a lot safer. I might even consider him over Suwali. Good shout that. I'll have a think about that. After your post on LOCKOUT, what's your final verdict on Schuster or LOCKOUT? Should I boost to one or wait next round? Yeah, I know I've been really high on LOCKOUT. I'm actually starting to cool off a little bit. I just feel like with Tom returning, he might not do as well. And it's a bit of a stretch to say that. Schuster is a lot cheaper and does have the duel. So yeah, I'm kind of starting to think maybe Schuster. You know, I feel like Manly will play more down the left side, which should suit Josh. So yeah, I'd say Schuster actually. LOCKOUT, Murray or IPAP from Tom? Probably LOCKOUT actually. Murray now with the Origin restings and things like that. Dale, give us a sneaky multi for tonight. I don't bet, mate, so I can't really give any tips on multis, for example. I've literally never placed a bet in my life. Thoughts on Leilua to Tamalolo and Crichton to Drinkwater? Crichton, is that Stephen Crichton? Stephen Crichton might be okay hold to round 13. If it's Angus, I wouldn't be considering to trade out. Charlie. Okay, I'm trying to just find a few different questions. Rank Drinkwater, Cody, and Schuster as bench 5'8". Cody, Drinkwater, Schuster, in order. Okay, David, stop working so hard. Josh trained today, is playing for sure. Saturday, cooler, supposed to be back tomorrow. Thank you, David. So, cheers for the donation as well, mate. Really appreciate that, mate. Working so hard, we got to do it. Glad to see that Josh is probably going to be okay to play as well. Lachlan, what do you think of Fafita, Ilias, and Starling for Drinkwater, Grant, and Tass? Yes, lock it in. I love that. Good cheapie. Grant and Drinkwater has been on form. Yeah. I have 22 trades left and no boosts. Do I need to put the brakes on? Yeah, I would say yes, Omar. I think especially with no boosts left, you really need to be saving your trades then to manage issues. Whereas if we've got a few boosts up your sleeve, you can manage situations a bit better. Do you think Oji Kamanu could be an option in the future? Yeah, look, we'll think about that in a little bit. I think, yes, obviously it could be an option, but yeah, I won't think about that right now. Would you play Tass or Penasini this week? I'd say Tass. I generally have a rule where I don't like to play any outside back versus the Panthers. Dylan Brown's an exception because he's a half, if you know what I mean, but like a winger and a centre against Panthers I don't really love. So I'd play Tass, better matchup. If you're not trading Haas for a gun, what's the point? Exactly. Someone was asking about Haas to Turbo. So yeah, I think that's good. Who will score more points to end the season? Schuster or TPJ? Thank you again, Benny, for the donation. Really appreciate that. Well, can you guarantee me TPJ plays every game? That's the main question. Geez, I don't know. Schuster's special, man. I'd say I want to say Schuster, but TPJ can turn it on his day. But Schuster was a gun last year. I think we can't forget it. Hey man, Schneider, Jones, Fafita for Crichton, Proctor, and Munster. No, don't buy Proctor. No, I wouldn't be buying Proctor. I know he covers round 13, but no. I like Crichton and Munster, but don't be resorting for Proctor. What is his price? Surely we can help you out and find someone a bit better than that. 260k. Oh, jeez. Do you have any duels to go swap to like a Tuipel or two? Let me know. I don't love the Proctor pick. Okay. Clemmer, if he keep... Oh, God, the questions went all wacky. Sorry. Clemmer, if he keeps the minutes, could be the goods. Not going to lie. Yeah, I think Clemmer is a good option at front row forward if you're looking for a bit of a pod. Tamalolo just seems a bit better because he's got that round 13 coverage. Would you consider Targo a season keeper? I don't know about season keeper. Definitely a hold to round 13, and I think we can evaluate at that point in time. His performances have slipped a little bit in real life and also SuperCoach purposes, but at the beginning of the season he was killing it. So we'll wait and see on that one. I'll reserve judgment. Taff for 80 plus this week. You're not reserving him either. Yeah, it's probably going to happen now that we're not playing him, but what can we do about that? Okay, let's see if we can find some different questions. Ramsey for Fafita, Ilias. Who's Ramsey? Sorry, Jonty. I don't know who Ramsey is. Ramsey for Fafita and Ilias to Tass, Crichton, and Walker. Yeah, I'm also not sure on Angus myself. Like, I think you've got 155k there, so you could stretch up to LOCKOUT. You could even get Tamalolo, who I think I've got a bit more certainty about Tamalolo in comparison to Crichton. I think Angus will play Origin. Freddie loves him. I don't like the fact that he's playing on the right-hand side either. I think that kind of killed his attacking output just a tad. So yeah, I'm not personally sold on Angus just yet either. Down to 26 trades. This is from Mitch. Would you get Penasini to Tuipulotu this week? Would play it in your 17. I think the matchup was good for Manly. I think 26 trades is okay. Look, I'm on 24 trades. I am very conscious of that. I haven't saved a single trade. I'm just hoping that I can set my team up in the next few weeks until the first bye, and then I can just like chill out. That's my aim. But I am concerned with my trade scenario. But no, I think 26, it's okay to do that move. You're getting a lot of cash out of that. You're tossing up between Cooler and Tass, okay, to play. So Tass does have slightly better base. Plays on the left-hand side, which is probably a bit better than Cooler, who plays on the right for Manly, I want to say. Left-hand side of Rabbitoh is probably a bit better than the right-hand side for Manly. And seems like Cooler's lacked a bit of the upside, whereas Tass looks quality. So I'm playing Tass over Cooler if that helps you in your decision in any way. Brenton thinking Haas to TPJ, Cobbo to Haas to TPJ, Cobbo to Tass, and Schneider to Drinky. Yeah, I can't fault that. I like TPJ, nice pod, round 13. Tass, very good cheapie. And Drinky, look, if you're set on Drinky, I don't mind that. Let's see. I'm sorry, the question's a bit long. See if you can simplify that for me. It's a bit hard to get all of that in. Lachlan, I think I've answered that question. Yeah, so again, just guys, like, just for like housekeeping, if I want to call it that, if I have answered one of your questions in an indirect way, maybe just consider removing the message, that's just so that I don't have to repeat it and we can get to as many different questions as we can. Just conscious about 20 minutes to lockout as well, so make sure your team's all set up. Who misses the last bench spot, Cooler or Tass? Yeah, I think I'm not playing Cooler. I'm gonna play Tass instead. Reserve Tuolangi playing 80 on the edge, or rather than centre wing with a bit more upside like Suwali or Tass. My thing with Tuolangi is that I don't have confidence in him playing 80. I feel like he never plays 80 minutes. That's why I feel like I don't want to be playing him. Look, if he scores points on my bench, whatever. It just means he'll generate some cash. Although the last 2 weeks he has played 75 and 80 minutes. But like, think about it. He played 75 minutes last week and scored 34 points in base. Isaiah Tass scored 35 points in base. Isaiah Tass has got the same level of base as Tuolagi, probably has the upside, and has got a better matchup. So I would say for that reason, play Tass or Suwali instead of Tuolangi. Just joining late, opinions on Tass versus Tuipulotu. I know we haven't really spoken about like the head-to-head. I think Wilfred made a very good point on his podcast as well. If that extra 100k isn't necessary for your trades, then Tuipulotu is probably better in the sense that he plays round 13, has an equally low break-even, not equally low, but a very low break-even as well. Tass, though, has got probably the better cash generation potential, given that he's a lot cheaper and you free up more funds from bringing him in. I'm bringing both in. I think they're both really good cheapies, which is why I'm actually just looking to get both in. Gun to my head, though, I'd probably say Tass just because he's a bit cheaper. But again, think about if you need that extra 100k for your future moves. Could a C on Talakai pay big this week with the Warriors conceding the second most points in the NRL so far? It's a good consideration. My thing is that, like, for me, if I was captaining a Sharks player, for me Hines is a safe one. But I can't look past Pappenhausen. The Storm are versing who? They're versing the Dragons. I can't remember where in the table the Dragons sit in terms of conceding points, but I know that the Storm score the most points, and Pappenhausen's a goal kicker. So I can't look past Pappenhausen captain for myself this week. I don't mind the pod play in Talakai, but I feel like it's easy to take a pod play with your VC. Captaincy, though, I feel like I'd play it safe with Nico Hines. Starling to Grant, Fafita to Lolo, and Billy Smith to Tass. Good use of boost. I know Billy Smith is in the extended reserves, but I like that boost, Joshua. Elise is going to score a double tonight. Should I captain him? If you think he's going to score a double, then go ahead and captain him. I don't own him, so I hope he doesn't do that. If you buy Proctor, you need to see a doctor. We've got more poems in the chat, guys. I love it. Keep getting in your poems. Fowler, hey man, I already have a Hamoli and have enough to bring in Schuster next week. I like it, but only thing is I don't know if I want both Manly back rowers. Look, I think with forwards it's a bit different. They've both got decent base stats and underlying, work rates. So I think it doesn't necessarily matter that they're both from the same team. At the end of the day, you're buying in a good team. You're not necessarily buying from a bad team. So I don't think you should worry about that too much. It might look strange in your team, but I don't think it's that big of a deal. Amon for Tass and Illis for Schuster. Yeah, I like that. Carrot Nibblers. Aitken or TPJ? Is this for a buy? Is this for reserve? Just see if you can clarify that for me, please, Anthrax. If it was just a buy, I'd probably buy TPJ over Aitken. Is Jai Arrow to Campbell Graham a good move? Feels slightly sideways, but at least Campbell Graham will probably cover round 17, whereas Jai Arrow won't. It feels a slight bit sideways, Tom. It depends. Do you need to strengthen up your centre wing? In which case, then yeah, Graham is a good buy. Hey man, who plays out of Suwali, Taff, and Tuipulotu? I'm ruling out Taff. I hate his base and his work rate and his lack of involvement in the attacking plays, so I'm not going to play Taff. Out of Suwali and Tuipulotu, I mean, let's have a quick look at the base stats from last week. Suwali's was 30, Tuipulotu was about 35. I actually prefer Suwali in the sense that the Titans concede more points than the Tigers, and Suwali was he was very close to scoring another try, so he could have actually had a pretty decent score last week. So I'd just say Suwali, but I'm not super confident in that. Cobbo to Tass, Jones to TPJ, your thoughts? Like it? Good moves. Hey man, getting Munster now or cashing out and getting Turbo/Garrick next week or two? If you start talking 2 weeks, then getting someone like Turbo with Origin just around the corner doesn't feel as great. So maybe just consider getting Munster now. It also depends on your other 5'8". If your other 5'8's like an Ilias, then I like the upgrade to Munster. Final reserve. Lukey, Taff, or Cooler? Is Lukey named on the bench? I can't remember. If he's named on the bench, I wouldn't play him. Cooler or Taff? I would actually slightly edge Taff in that instance. I think Cooler lacks a slight bit of upside. Taff at least has goal kicking. So in that case, maybe just Taff. David, chat before we leave, like the stream, take 1 second. Yeah, appreciate it, guys. If you are liking the stream and hopefully if the questions help, give the stream a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. James, love your thoughts and openness, so thank you kindly. My favorite subscription this year so far, mate. Thank you so much. Really appreciate that. There's so many good SuperCoach podcasters and content creators, so that's very nice of you. Thank you. You decided to go for Feeder to Schuster, like that. Gutherson to Paps, like that. And Penasini to Tass to get 280k left. I think it's a great boost. Fafita needs to go. Paps is amazing. Penasini can be cashed in, and Tass is great cheapie. I like all of that, James. Reserve Targo or Josh King? Targo. Cassidy. I would reserve Targo. It's got the upside. Parramatta do concede points as well. Hines to Cleary. No. Laker TV, no, I wouldn't be doing that. You want Hines and Cleary. Would not be selling Hines for Cleary. There's only a few players who I wouldn't sell for Cleary, and that's like, Turbo, Hines, Pappenhausen. That's about it. There's not really many more players I wouldn't sell for Cleary. Tass versus Stags are going to be tough. That's true, but I feel like, I don't know, that's a good point. Maybe I should think about that a bit more. But I'm set on it, whatever. Look, if he gets 35, no big deal. I'm ready for a red arrow this week because I've got 480k in the bank and I'm not buying a gun. If you're bringing in Turbo, are you captaining him? It is scary because there are a lot of other good captains this week. Paps, Hines, Cleary's an option. Cody Walker's a punt as well. I wouldn't do it just because it's his first game back from an injury. You never know. They might play like 60, 65 minutes and then they might rest him for the last 10, 15. Generally, that means he's probably done well. Yeah, I don't know if I'd captain. I would like to get Turbo this week, but I still feel better with captaining Pappenhausen. Weird as it sounds. I feel like from next week onwards, we can see and decide if we want to start captaining Turbo. That's the only risk I have maybe with going straight C on Turbo this week if you did get him. Penasini, Schiller, Ilias to Tuipulotu, Tass, and juggling up between Drinkwater, Cody, or Schuster. Yeah, I think I've kind of made my thoughts a bit clear on that earlier. I think I prefer Cody. Just, he's got the pedigree. Probably Drinkwater next, just for the fact that he's in good form, has got the round 13 coverage. Schuster, I'd rather actually you get Schuster in your second row forward. There's more slots to play with there. TPJ or Hamoli. Probably just Hamoli, but I like TPJ's duel and he's a bit cheaper as well. Tass or Randall last reserve. I'm going Tass personally. I feel like I just want to maybe chase upside if I can. Apple juice or orange juice? Orange juice all day, every day. No debate. Okay, sorry guys if I can't get to everyone's questions. We've got about 12 minutes, I want to say. Let's have a quick look on the website. Yeah, we've got 12 minutes, so apologies if I can't get to all your questions. You put Croker in, but you're tempted to change Kotrich. Mudcrab, with all due respect, I would get neither of them. Raiders can't score points. The only attribute of Croker is that he can kick goals. If they're not scoring that many points, I don't see the appeal with Croker or Kotrick. Thoughts on trading in Tass for Valea rather than Penasini? Main reason is that Valea at least covers round 13 and you're getting more money out of the Penasini trade. That's the reason why. I think Penasini is a decent hold. So I get what you're saying, David. It's more just that you're getting more cash out of the move as well. And at least Valea covers you to round 13. You never know. Because he's at bottom dollar, he just needs one decent score and you can actually start making some cash as well. So that's part of the reason why you might want to just hold on to Valea. If you're not playing him, he's not doing any harm sitting on your bench there. So that's the main reason why I would consider trading out Penasini over Valea. But I get where the question is coming from. Hey man, is VC Cleary and Captain Pappenhausen a good idea? That's exactly what I'm doing. So I think it's a good idea. Should I get Xavier Coates or Cody Walker via duels? Oh man, that's tough. Cody has got the better draw and will play round 17, whereas Coates has Origin. So I'd say Cody, just. Thoughts on Dejan Arce? Oh, look, I think he looked good in the actual game, but yeah, I'm not sure if I'd consider him just yet. I can't remember his price. He's probably cheap, and I think apparently you can get him in center wing. 242k. He's only played the one game so far, hasn't he? Yeah, so I think I would leave it. Maybe next week is an option to consider as a trade-in if he has another good performance this week. Best VC option: Cook, Murray, Dilbags, or IPAP. I would say Murray. I'm just thinking Broncos might be weak in the middle. Murray might get one of those easy tries through the middle, although Cook could equally do that as well. Hey, that's a tough one. I think Murray's shown a bit more consistency, although Cook has gone big as well, hasn't he? I would say Murray just because that was my first thought. Come on, boys, throw a like on the vid. A lot of effort from Aman here. No, appreciate it. So we've got about 10 minutes, 9 minutes 48 to go. I'm just going to double check my team and I'm going to refresh my browser as well. Okay, so yeah, Tass and Tui Pilotu are in. Yeah, I think I'm on that for now. The only thing I might change is the reserves. I might change Sawali to maybe a Randall, but I don't see it. And I think I'm pretty confident getting in Tass and Tui Pilotu in. It's a stupid reason as well, but if I get Lolo, it makes my decision to bench one of Tui Pilotu or Tass harder. So I'm thinking might just leave it. Need to drop Fafita and wondering whether to use my last boost. Fafita, Brodie Jones and Ilias to Tamalolo, Drinkwater and Tass. That's a great boost. I know it's your last one, but Fafita needs to be sold. Brodie Jones needs to be sold as well. It doesn't need to be. It's about 1 to 2 weeks out. If you can just do the Fafita and Brodie Jones to Tamalolo and Tass, you could just leave it at that. Or do the Ilias to Drinkwater and leave it at that. You don't have to do both of them. You don't have to do the boost. So maybe out of Tamalolo, Drinkwater and Tass, I'd just get Lolo and Tass and maybe just leave it at that if you can. Not Supercoach related, what change, even the slightest one, would you make in order to improve our underperforming Chookies? Alright, 2 changes. Put Kiri at Kiri's already at halfback. So no, I'll leave that. I would swap Angus and Tupanoa. Put him back on the side they were killing it at last year. That's it. Can you get IPAP next week if Haas pulled out again? Yeah, definitely. IPAP's break-even is not super low. It's pretty high, I want to say. So he might not actually change that much in price. Let's see what it is. Its break-even is 72. So he might hit 72 against the Panthers. So he's probably not going to move much in price. And Haas won't change in price either. So you can definitely wait on that next week if you want to. Stags or Campbell Graham? Campbell Graham is just a lot more consistent, I think. Who is the best second forward to get right now besides Olukwatu? You have IPAP, Talakai, and I'm looking to trade up for Fita. Maybe just get Tamalolo if you haven't got Tamalolo already. Safe option, covers round 13. Daniel, please help. Tass Walker for Isaac Penasini. Isaac, who's Isaac? I can't remember who Isaac is. And then with the extra trade, Haas for Lolo or Braley for Cotter. I'm guessing that's Blake Braley. I don't know if I'd be buying Cotter just this week because of the fact that we're just not sure if we're going to play 80 minutes again. Look, if you can cover Haas, I'd maybe just do the Tass and Walker ones in. Isaac, I'm going to guess is Ilias, actually, is probably what you're saying there. Do you think Kula goes big with Turbo playing? He could, but I feel like I'd rather pick the winger in Tui Pilotu. He's more likely to benefit from any sweep plays. So I'm just going to say that, but I could get that completely wrong. Alright, sorry guys, this chat's glitched. It's gone straight down to the bottom again, so apologies if I've missed anyone. What have we got? 6 minutes. Is Kula left side or right side? I believe Kula is on the right hand side because you replaced Morgan Harper, who plays on the right hand side. Thoughts on Garrick from Pablo Escobar? Great name. Yeah, look, I think Garrick's a good option if you want to go early. He has got a relatively high break even, and I just wasn't sure if I wanted Garrick or Tamalolo or Olaquatu, so I've just left the decision. And I can instead maybe use that money next week to get Turbo. Hugh Myron, hey man, what's your facial hair routine? Oh mate, the amount of questions I get about my facial hair. I don't have a routine apart from it's trimmed down to 2.5 millimeters everywhere. That's it. That's my secret. It's 2.5 millimeters. No routine, no oils, no nothing. Every few days I'll trim it down. That's it. But if you want any other tip, if you want your facial hair to have better coverage, let it grow out for a while first and then trim down. And it's better that way instead of letting it go out from scratch. As your hair gets longer, it fills in more of the gaps as well. That's my other little tip for you. Thanks, Aman. Legend answering so many questions for us. No, not at all. All good fun. Hey, man, you're deciding between Lolo and Murray. I'd say Lolo. I know hasn't got the upside, but I think Murray will get actually extra rest over the origin period. Lolo should be safe, though. Should you get Turbo or Drinkwater? Turbo 100%. Cookie going for a ton. Trust, yeah, probably he well could. Oh, yeah, you're right. Maybe he's referring to Isaac Targo. Yeah, that's true. Sorry. No, I wouldn't be taking out Isaac Targo. I think he's a good hold till round 13. Sorry to whoever asked that question earlier. Hey, man, Tough, Fafita, and May. No trading Taylor May. No trading Taylor May. He's playing Staines in New South Wales Cup. No trading Taylor May. But I like Turbo and Tass that you're getting in. If you can trade out someone else like Penasini to Tass to make that money work for Turbo, then do that. Hey man, Schuster or Olaquatu? Oh, it's been asked quite a bit. I've been flip-flopping. Schuster is a bit cheaper, so I'd go Schuster. How are people forgetting Turbo in the opening rounds? I got burnt and can't forget. That's true, but he was also versing top teams. He was versing the Panthers and I think the Roosters, maybe even Melbourne. So he was versing tough teams, and also just generally the scoring was down. I think we are seeing the scoring getting picked up a bit. Maybe it's the weather's drying up a bit. It's not so wet as it was at the beginning of the year. So yes, he was poor in the beginning, but we can't overlook how good he is. And he does have a better draw now on paper as well. Should I bring in Coates this week? It's a bit of a broad question. I think he's an okay buy, but he does have a couple of tough matchups coming up in the Panthers and the Cowboys, who've been pretty good defensively. So I was really interested in him, but I'm personally now skipping. Thank you so much. Only found you 3 weeks ago and love your content. Thank you, Mitchell. I'm glad to hear that you like it. Who's your NPR you'd be using to loop Cleary? So I've actually got Jack Howarth from the Storm, so he's enough. So what I would do is if I wanted to loop Cleary, I could sub in Jack Howarth for like a Aitken because he plays in the last game as well. I could. Oh yeah, good point actually. So what I would do is I would sub in Howarth for Talakai. I'd put the reserve off Aiken and put on Talakai, and then I'd captain Howarth instead. That's how I do the VC loop this week. Do you think Arrow will go well this week and trade him out next week? I mean, he'll probably get you like 50 points. No, nothing like, probably nothing more, nothing really less than that either. Alright guys, we've got 2 minutes 52 seconds until lockout. So I'm not sure how many more questions I'll be able to get to. Just to quickly recap for anyone who's just in. I've done Cobbo and Penasini out for Tass and Tuipulotu. I'm going to play Tass and Tuipulotu over Taff because I can't trust Taff's work rate. So James, to answer your question, I'm playing Tass over Taff. And yep, Cobbo got locked out. So yeah, I've traded out Cobbo. He's not in the team anymore. Thank you for your service. He actually ended up making 80k on my original trade-in. So thank you, Cobbo. It was a fun ride, but you've gone for Tas and Penasini. You've been very good to us as well, but you're gone for another cheapie. Should you sell Murray from? He might go. No, don't. If you've got Murray, you do not sell. You hold him, but that's it. Good luck, Aman. You're a legend. Hopefully, you get the big green tick this week. Let's see. I'm kind of thinking of Red Arrow because I haven't bought a gun in. I mean, I still could with that like during the week, but I think I'm going to leave it at that. Let's see if I can break into the top 10k this week. I'm sitting about 11,000 at the moment, but thank you, David, and good luck to you as well. Hopefully, you get into the top 100 this week, and give Josh good luck, but not too much good luck because I'm not buying him this week. Thanks for the great content and filling in for Brew recently. Good luck for the Supercoach round ahead. Thank you, Alistair. I heard ScoMo wants to ban Supercoach because McInnes isn't starting. Mate, ScoMo, don't touch our fantasy games, please. This is our enjoyment away from busy life. Alright, guys, there's about a minute left. Any last questions like about reserves? Hopefully we've covered them all. Get them in, but I think otherwise probably going to leave it there. But yeah, we'll give it another minute until lockout, and then we can go all watch the footy. Yay. Seeing if there's anything coming on Twitter that I have missed. A few people have asked questions on Twitter, but I can't really get to them right now, obviously. Sell Murray? No way. You have Turbo Captain and Cleary Vice. Is that the right choice? Yeah, well, look, Panthers do play before Manly, so you've got your order right. But yeah, look, I don't mind the Turbo Captain. I'm personally a little bit iffy on it because you never know coming back from an injury how he's going to go. But it's bold, and if it works for you, it's a massive pod. Tas, Tuipulotu, or Suwali, which two should I start? Ooh. That's a tough one. Well, I'm starting all three, aren't I? Jeez. Oh god, you might not have much time left, eh? You have 20 seconds. Tas and Suwali. Can you say the reason you're going Tas? Bottom dollar, minus 69 break even, good team, good draw, will make a lot of cash, and looks like a gun. Not worried it becomes an AE with Jackson Paul on the bench? No. So Demetrio made some comments that he's probably earned the spot on merit. So that's why I think we're pretty secure with his job security. Alright guys, I think that's lockout. We have got to lockout. Yep, it's kind of frozen. Not frozen, but yeah, you can't really do anything. I'm not going to mess around with my team. Alright guys, thank you so much. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that, and hopefully I got to your questions. Apologies to anyone who questions I missed. Lots of questions coming in, which was great. Love that there's so many people asking questions. This week especially felt like one of those weeks where a lot of big decisions had to be made. So I was umming and ahhing a lot. Finally landed on my choices about 2 hours ago, I want to say. But yeah, good luck everyone for round 9. Hope you all get green arrows, your pods do well, your captains do well, no injuries or anything affect you. Yeah, I hope you guys all do very well. Gonna end the stream there. Let's go watch the footy. Enjoy it. See you all later.